How to stop overthinking the quickest way. Remember that day? When you didn't have a single thought? Yeah. Neither does anyone else. We are perpetual thinkers, it's a non-stop habit. You generate about 70,000 thoughts per day. What are these thoughts all about? Are they helping you live the life that you want to live? Or are they making you feel less about yourself and others? Today we find out how you can stop overthinking and finally get your mind on your side. First, it begins with awareness. You must actually become aware of what is going on inside your head. And that sounds simple enough. But many of us never even realize that there's some negative stuff happening out there, and instead we choose to act like everything is okay. Are you overthinking? Are you thinking negatively? Well, admit it. Because otherwise you won't change a thing. Self-improvement begins with self-acceptance. When you actually make it clear to yourself that you don't like what's going on and you begin to be aware of it. This is the point where you can start to make a real change. You can keep a thought journal. Writing down your thoughts as they come up. At least the more noticeable ones. Even if they're negative. It'll help you to start to get an overview of what's happening in your mind, and after this it'll be much easier to make the changes you want to make, because you'll know what's actually going on. Secondly, use meditation. Yeah, use it. Use meditation not because it's good for you and you should meditate. Meditate because it'll actually help you get what you want. When you train your mind with a simple technique like focusing on your breathing for 10 minutes per day and pulling it back every time it gets distracted, you start to gain power over your mind. Understand also that if you do not train your mind, it is guaranteed to run wild on you. Like a crazy chimp, it'll mess up your state of mind, and in the end it'll even mess up your life, so control it. Use meditation because it works. And don't be discouraged if you can't seem to stay focused in the beginning. Simply stay disciplined and continue to practice. This is one of the very best and most effective ways to beat overthinking, and it will absolutely work for you, as long as you stay with it. Another way that you can train your mind quickly is by really focusing on the daily tasks and activities that you're engaged in. Being fully present and aware as you're doing them and not getting caught up by the noise in your head. When you're walking outside, breathe the air, and pay attention to your environment. Don't let yourself walk around unconsciously and stuck in your own head. Even if you're doing something as simple as watching a video, actually watch the video, and tune out the noise going on upstairs in the mind. We get so used to our daily activities after a while, that you may notice you're thinking constantly. Chances are that if you've been doing it for a few years, this effect has really kicked in and you're just in a constant stream of thoughts. That's also why it's great to go and try new things. Do different activities that you've never done before. Because it will force your mind to become present. Like the first time you're learning to drive a car, or climbing a massive mountain, because your mind will have to engage. That really is the key right there. Forcing your mind to engage, because it usually will not engage on its own. Just because you want to be present, doesn't mean that your mind is going to engage. Because it's based off of whether or not it's necessary in order for you to perform. Now thirdly, you have to separate yourself from your thoughts. This goes hand in hand with training your mind, but the only time that our thoughts can do us any real harm, is when we identify with them. When we begin to think that we are the thoughts. That voice in your head is exactly that. A voice. You can control it, you can shape it, and when you begin to understand this, you gain massive power over it. You can use your thinking to help you be productive and get closer to your goals. But if you let it run on autopilot, it is very likely that your life won't turn out the way that you want it to. So it's very important to always steer your thoughts in the right direction. And that's why it's so important to actually know what's going on in your mind. And that's why the self-awareness was the first step. There is also one technique that works extremely well for many people out there. It's anytime you become aware of a negative thought, you would redirect it by saying, "How can I change this into something that helps me?" Instead of something that holds you back. This one simple change done on a daily basis can lead you to a place of close to no negative thoughts. So it's extremely hard to overcome, but when you're constantly redirecting and you really get into the habit of reshaping your thoughts and steering them in the direction that you want, you will actually feel like you're in control of what's going on. And before you know it, you are using your mind to get what you want instead of it using you and making you feel terrible about yourself and struggle. Remember that overthinking, especially if it's negative, is actually a bad habit. So by implementing these 3 keys that we've just gone over, you'll be able to become aware of your thoughts. Begin to control them and also separate yourself from the non-stop stream that goes through your head. So go ahead now, leave a comment down below. What have you been overthinking about? I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel today to become the best version of yourself. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Other than that, I hope you'll have an awesome day. I'll catch you the next time.